You finally get a text back from the person you've been stressing over all week. Your bank account is doing fine. Your schedule is completely clear for the next 48 hours. For about 3 seconds, you feel this incredible, rare wave of peace wash over you. And then, right on cue, your brain starts pacing around like an anxious dog behind a fence. It begins desperately digging through your memory bank, looking for a random, embarrassing thing you said to a coworker 3 months ago, just to completely ruin the mood. Within 5 minutes, that heavy, familiar pit is back in your stomach. Why do we do that to ourselves? Why does peace feel like a trap? Let's be honest. If you're living in the US, the UK, or anywhere in the modern West right now, you are constantly bombarded with the idea that the ultimate goal of human life is to be happy. You buy the trendy self-help books, you download the 5-star meditation apps, and you tell your friends over drinks that you just want to relax and enjoy life. Yet, the exact moment life actually goes quiet, the moment things start going right, you treat it like a catastrophic system malfunction. You get restless, you sit on your couch and immediately start doom scrolling through the worst news headlines you can find. You pick a petty, pointless fight with your partner over how they stack the dishwasher. Or you lie in bed replaying your worst personal failures on a loop until that heavy, suffocating blanket of anxiety settles right back into your chest. You claim you want to be happy, but your daily behavior says you are secretly, deeply addicted to your own misery. And no, I don't mean that you're faking it for attention or playing the victim for sympathy. It runs way deeper than that. Look closely at how you spend a free Tuesday evening. Instead of actually resting your body and mind, you actively go hunting for things that hurt. You check your ex's Instagram profile just to see if they look happier without you. You scroll through TikTok looking at creators who are younger, richer, and more successful, explicitly to trigger that hollow, sinking feeling of inadequacy in your gut. It makes absolutely no logical sense. Why would a rational, intelligent human being choose to feel like complete garbage? To understand this psychological glitch, we have to look at what behavioral scientists call emotional homeostasis. But let's drop the textbook jargon and call it what it actually is in the real world. Your brain's toxic comfort zone. Your nervous system doesn't care about your happiness. It never has. It cares about one thing, your survival. And from an evolutionary standpoint, survival relies entirely on predictability. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. If you've spent the last 5, 10, or 15 years navigating chronic academic stress, intense social anxiety, or chaotic family dynamics, your brain hardwires that exact state of emotional heavy weather as your default setting. It sets your internal psychological thermostat to miserable. So when you suddenly step out into the warm sun of a genuinely good day where nothing is wrong, your brain's biological alarm system freaks out. It looks around, senses the lack of panic, and whispers, "Hey, it's entirely too quiet right now. We aren't stressed. We aren't worrying. That means we aren't prepared. Something terrible is about to happen." To fix this terrifying lack of drama, your brain instantly manufactures a crisis out of thin air. It forces you to catastrophize about your job or to overanalyze a tiny shift in your friend's text message tone just to pull your internal emotional temperature back down to that familiar, safe baseline of unhappiness. Because to a deeply conditioned mind, a familiar, predictable sadness feels 1,000 times safer than an unpredictable, vulnerable joy. Misery is the ultimate psychological shield. If you constantly expect the worst-case scenario, you can never be blindsided by life. You willingly trade the beautiful possibility of real happiness for the absolute, guaranteed safety of a controlled disappointment. But there's an even uglier, darker truth we have to face here. We don't just tolerate this low-level misery, we start to value it. It slowly, quietly becomes our entire identity. Think about it. When you are the broken, misunderstood overthinker or the permanently exhausted, cynical hustler, you know exactly how to operate. Your misery gives you a flawless script to follow. It gives you a built-in, socially acceptable excuse for why you haven't taken that big career risk, why you keep procrastinating on your dreams, and why your romantic relationships always seem to fail. It completely protects you from the weight of high expectations. If you woke up tomorrow morning completely happy, healthy, confident, and emotionally healed, you would actually have to face the terrifying reality of figuring out what to do with your life. you'd have no more excuses left to hide behind. The fear of losing that cozy, broken, familiar identity is often much stronger than the desire to actually change. We choose to stay in the dark because we are absolutely terrified of what we might look like if we finally step out into the light. So, how do you break a literal biochemical addiction to a negative feeling? You have to start catching the surge in real time. The very next time things are going smoothly, you're driving home or you're sitting in a coffee shop, and you feel your mind actively hunting for a reason to be anxious. Stop. Take a slow, deep breath. Recognize exactly what is happening. Acknowledge that your brain is just feeling incredibly uncomfortable with peace, and it is desperately trying to drag you back to its old toxic home. It is going to feel incredibly weird and unnatural at first. Your nervous system will practically scream at you to find a problem, to fixate on a personal flaw, or to completely sabotage the moment just to get that familiar hit of stress chemicals. Let it scream. Sit there, stay still, and consciously endure the awkward, unfamiliar discomfort of things actually going right. You aren't broken. You haven't failed at life. You've just spent a very long time in survival mode, and you've forgotten the basic mechanics of how to actually live. The sadness and overthinking you are clinging to isn't a permanent, unchangeable personality trait. It's just a deeply ingrained neural habit. It's an old, dusty script your brain keeps running day after day because it's too afraid to close the book and write a new one. But remember, you are the author holding the pen. So, are you going to keep comforting the monster that is keeping you trapped in the dark? Or are you finally brave enough to see who you actually are without it?